and welcome to this edition of The Blueprint. I'm Ken Jamaica, managing broker of J. Castle Group and host.
And I'm Katie Martin, co-host, TC, agent, etc.
There you go. All right, so last week we kind of left off with rookie mistakes, and we specifically focused on how to choose a brokerage and how to get started in that regard. But now we're going to kind of pivot that. We could do a 900-part series on this, to be perfectly honest. But we're going to pivot that to talk about kind of the first 6 months. Is that fair? And the mistakes that are made in the, let's go first 3 transactions.
Okay.
All right. First 3 transactions, which could be 6 minutes or 6 years. But first 3 transaction mistakes, I'd open with not paying your realtor dues.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
If no one's told you, it costs roughly in our market, Sacramento market, roughly $2,000 to get started. And that's joining National Association of Realtors, California Association, your local association, paying for your e-key so you can open lockboxes and your MLS. And without those, life is hard as an agent. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it easy? No.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have access to look up properties and you can't open the doors. You're either asking for a lot of help, which is fine, right? If you're on a good team, you're on a good brokerage, someone can help you open doors. Someone can help you look up stuff on MLS. But it's just hard, right? And then the thing that Katie's going to love to talk about is forms.
Yes. Messing up on forms, which I see all day, every day.
Well, no, not having forms.
Oh, yes, that too.
If they don't have car access, they don't have access to car forms.
Which there's definitely workarounds for that I've discovered, which maybe we don't need to disclose. But yes, that's kind of a big hindrance. I certainly see a lot of agents who are, I'll say, very well seasoned, who use car forms that are several years outdated. I don't know how they access those. It always astonishes me, but they also find ways around that. But yes, that would be a very hard thing to do if you don't have access to any forms whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, you could, in theory, take an old deal, old being 2 days ago or 20 years ago, right? And electronically white out stuff and use that form again.
Yeah. I don't have time for that.
Nope, I don't either. But if you have nothing else going on, that could be an answer. So, all right. So if you do pay your dues and you do have your access to the things and you learn how to use your MLS and you learn how to use your key and you're showing properties and you're doing your BRVC, listen back a handful of episodes, learn how to do that right. You get something in contract and then you make your TC crazy.
Yes. Usually but in a good way, but sometimes in not a good way.
So what are the top, I don't know, call it 5 things that agents screw up, new agents screw up on a regular basis?
I would say one of the number one things is getting dates wrong on forms. So out the gate, you've got a contract, and then let's say there's a couple of counter offers. And I've noticed a lot of agents, new and old, they'll put the purchase agreement date for every single contract or for every single counter offer when it's supposed to be counter offer 1, counter offer 2. Those are the dates you go in ascending order, correct? So I usually have to go back through and have all of those corrected, and then everyone has to initial it, and it's just more work for buyers and sellers. So incorrect dates is one of the most common things. Low stakes, right?
I want to challenge is the wrong word. I want to go through that a little bit more. So a counter offer, you're saying that counter offer 2 should have counter offer 1's date in the agreement date?
Right.
There's the agreement, the counter offer 2 date.
Yes.
Right. Let's say that the RPA date is the 1st. We get a counter on the 2nd, and they counter the counter on the 3rd. You're saying that the agreement date should be the 2nd, not the 1st.
Yes, because at the top of the form, you're selecting which form you're countering. So you can either select, this is, let's say, buyer counter offer 1 to your seller counter offer, or it's a buyer counter offer 1 to the purchase agreement, which I've also seen done if people want to come in and offer additional terms after the fact, that after it's been submitted. So you have to put the date of the form that you are creating the response to. Just like with a request for repairs response, you're responding to the request for repairs, right? And the date of the request for repairs is different than the contract date.
Typically, yeah.
Yes, I would hope so at least. I mean, good for you if you can get that done on day one. So your response to the request for repairs is responding to the request for repairs, so that you have to use that date. Does that make sense?
It does. I probably screw that up because that's not how I read that form. I'm trying to see if I can get one quickly to speak intelligently.
So at the very top, it will say something to the effect of this counteroffer is in response to a checkbox for the purchase agreement, or I think it's default for the purchase agreement for seller counters, or you can do a response to a seller multiple counter offer, a seller counter offer. There's a couple of options there and you have to select it at the top. But also I see it all the time with addendums. They'll do an addendum to the purchase agreement, but they'll put the date they create the addendum on that instead of the date.
That's what I see.
Yes.
That's what I see the most.
Yes.
I didn't process. I haven't read a form in a while. I am one to negotiate first and write it up once, so I don't get a lot of counters. But now I'm going to look because
I had a transaction 2 weeks ago that had 7 counter offers.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was fun. But it was a pretty expensive home, so that's pretty common, I feel like. Yeah.
You're correct. This is counteroffer to seller counteroffer number blank or blah 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 blah. Dated blank. So yeah, that would be the counter date. Wow. I would bet that if I ever did a counter, I would have screwed that up.
Yeah. So that's definitely one of the most common mistakes I see made is people just not looking at the form as they're filling it out in whatever platform they're using. The next would be assuming other people are doing your communications. So assuming XYZ is submitting this information to the lender instead of just being proactive and doing it yourself. I have a lot of agents who expect me to send everything to the lender, of which I will not do because I have in the past had that expectations. And then that expectation led to me sending an addendum that was not supposed to go to the lender and it made an issue. So I hard stopped right there. I do not send things to the lender unless you specifically ask me to. But a lot of people think, oh, you're sending introduction emails to everyone. So of course you're going to send everything to the lender. And I'm just not going to do that. And Fair. Also there's a lot of communication that I don't ever speak to the lender beyond day 1 or day 2, usually, unless they are needing a couple of things at the very end of escrow. So assuming that other people are doing communications that you don't even see or that you need to be doing yourself is probably the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Get 3 more.
Okay. I would say AVIDs, agent visual inspections. Always an issue. And I see you hiding your face. Yes. You are not immune to that. Nope. Just not getting them done.
So as a listing agent, I do them early because I know that that's a statutory document. As a buyer's agent, we'll close before I'll do one.
Yeah. Which, I mean, from a broker's perspective, I'm sure you have certain feelings about how your agents doing them or not doing them.
Oh, but doing them. Like everybody has to do them. I just suck at it.
Yeah. That's probably the number one thing that people try to get out of at all times. And they'll message me and say something like, is there a form that I can use instead of that? And I always say, yeah, check with your broker to see if they're okay with that and let me know how that goes.
There actually is on the TDES. I think it's the TDS there, where you check the AVID to follow box or whatever, or AVID attached. You can just write your whole AVID there. Property is in complete disrepair.
Yes.
Done. Checkbox, 7 words, you're done.
I have yet to see a single broker accept that though.
Oh, I would.
Yeah. So.
I mean, situationally, right? Like if it was a knockdown house,
sure,
I would, right? Or if it was a property as new construction.
Yeah. You know? I will say okay, rewind real fast. Explain to me from an agent perspective why that's such a pain for you guys.
Because you forget and you have to go back to the property. So here's the thing. I used to try to do them when I would do either photos or inspections. You're already there. But when you're doing photos, you're trying to stay out of the way of the photographer, one, and you're usually having a conversation with the photographer, talking about this and that, should we shoot that? Can you move that garbage can? Right? You're having those kind of interactions and you're not thinking that I need to go around and document that there's a hole in the wall, right? Same thing with doing inspections. You're walking around with the inspector, right? And you're not trying to fill out a form as you're doing it. So you got, I'll do it when you leave. And then you walk out together and you forget, and I got to go back. And if your listing is across the street, no biggie. If your listing is across town or across the county or the world, it's a pain in the ass.
Sure.
So it really is I would say a matter of laziness. It's a matter of being engaged with whoever you're with and just slip in the fact that you needed to do that.
And when you get around to it, on average, how long do they usually take you? Okay, welcome back.
On average, sorry, I disappeared for a second. So on average, what?
I would say when you finally do get around doing them, how long on average do they take you?
10 minutes, if that. The size of the house. If it's a huge house, a lot of problems, 20 minutes. Average, 2,000 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 10 minutes. But I'm also, the way I do AVIDs is not as robust as some, right?
Yes.
I have seen one AVID that so JR has his own process, which we'll talk about in a second. But I saw one AVID that, bathroom 1, tile floors in good condition, shower missing 3 inches of grout under this, sink in good condition, water runs hot and cold. Switch 1 operates fan, switch 2 operates light, all light bulbs in good condition. I mean, holy crap. I am of one where I stand functionally in the doorway. I don't open anything. I don't open closets. I don't open cabinets. I don't open medicine, nothing. I stand there and I look around and I go, cool. Carpet's in good shape. Nail holes in the wall. I might note nail holes in the wall, right? If they're not, if there's 2, because they had 2 pictures hanging up, I'm probably not even going to call that. But if there's 1,000 because they had used it as a cork board, I'm going to call that, right?
Sure.
No notes is copy paste on my AVIDs because I don't see a lot of things. My eyes covered, but I don't specifically look for things to call, right?
Sure. I
look to see if there's anything that is callable. I don't go, is that just a different color thread in the carpet or is that a stain? I'm not that I'm not that detailed, but I'm not that detailed on an AVID, right?
Yeah.
The AVID was created because of the .com, or not the .com, sorry. That was 2 recessions ago. The housing crisis, right? The 2008, 2009 debacle. We had agents out of the area selling homes they'd never been in. And so a buyer would buy sight unseen, thinking their agent had their best interest in mind. The agent never seen it either. And they walk in and why are there no toilets in this house?
Yeah.
And it was well, didn't you come look at this? You were working for me and I didn't know you were 700 miles away. What?
Yeah.
So now someone has to go look at the property and make sure that the house exists, right? And it is roughly what people expect it to be. And that's why you can, on the AVID, it says who did the inspection, who the agent is, because not the agent can do the inspection. And in fact, I make new agents do my inspections a lot. If I'm going to bring you along on a listing or bring you on whatever, I'll be cool. While you're here, do an AVID. Here's how you do it. Open up Glide. Because 1, they get practice, and 2, I don't have to do it. Works great for me.
The story that they told me when I was getting licensed was that there was, I'm totally going to butcher this, but from what I recall is that there was a house that was next to a hill that had very obvious issues with I want to say fencing that was holding the hill up. And then after that, if you'd gone out there, even not as a licensed whatever contractor, what have you, you would have noticed oh, that's kind of looking like that hill's not very secure. And after escrow closed, the hill structure, support, fence, whatever, collapsed and destroyed. Wall. Thank you. There you go. It collapsed and destroyed a lot of the house, and that was a lawsuit that happened. And then therefore the AVIDs were implemented for people to call out anything that looked really sketchy.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that egregious, but I don't know that I would have called it if it was off the property.
I think it was within the property line.
Oh, in the property line, then yeah, you should call that. But if it was the neighbor's dirt, there's a line there, and I don't know. Yeah. I think it'd be situational. I think I'd have to see it and go, I should call that. Did you see that the hill's going to eat your house? I might have asked a question, but I may not have put on an AVID.
Yeah.
But I would at least ask the question so it was noted somewhere that the problem
Sure.
existed.
Yeah. And then everyone can acknowledge it and then you can move on with your life.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think that was 3. What's number 4?
Okay. We're doing, remind me what the question was. Number, like things that new agents do
Yeah.
incorrectly?
It's forms they do wrong.
Okay. Forms they do wrong. Okay. It's more specific.
Or mistakes they make on forms.
Okay. Mistakes they make on forms. So I did dates on things, avids. I forget my second one. I would say another one would be contingency releases before you're ready to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Not really understanding the points during the transaction of when it's okay to release certain contingencies, or filling out a contingency release form incorrectly and then sending it over. I've definitely seen some people lose their earnest money deposits because the agent wasn't quite clear on what they were doing. So that's definitely very important.
Who was it? You that told me the story about an agent who wanted it signed with disclosures. You just held on to it until it was time to send it. Was it?
It wasn't even an agent. It was a TC who did it by practice. They had a full CR and a verification of property signed with disclosures, and they just kept them in the file. I can't. I can't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The liability on that from the TC's perspective, like,
yeah,
that's like lose your house level sued. Like that's,
yeah, that's insane and kind of lazy.
Oh, way lazy.
Yeah. So I would say that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. CRs is probably another big one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I got one more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think the last one would be, maybe this might be a little bit more of a catch-all, but I would say not taking a moment to do the work correctly, especially when it comes to requests for repairs. If you do something like see summary, want all of those items repaired. It's like, why don't you be a little bit more specific and take the time to type it out instead of just like see roof inspection, just like general laziness of not sitting down to just go through the process of doing it correctly.
So I have mixed feelings on that. So if I'm asking for like a roof report's a good example. I'm asking for all the things on a roof report. I'll say make all corrections and repairs on roof report from roof doctors dated blah. Mm-hmm. Right? Like,
okay, let me amend that a little bit then. I would say using verbiage that doesn't really make sense.
Okay, that's fair.
Which would also encapsulate a request for repairs of all items on summary.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So it needs to be unambiguous, right? So the way that I write it is all the things on that report dated that day. That report by that person dated that day, right? If there's a version, I'll put the version on there too. But if it's like, a home inspection that's got 5,000 things on it, I'll say, we want numbers 1, 7, 14, 97, and 243 addressed.
Yeah. I've seen like all redlined items. It's like it's a 70-page report. You want them to go through 70 pages and then figure out exactly which one each one is?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So
well, and
I've seen a lot of counter offers that it's like I kind of understand what you're saying, but your verbiage makes no sense whatsoever, and it's very ambiguous, so it could be construed a number of different ways. Yeah. So yeah.
So on that line of thinking, though, so on a addendum, on a AEA, on anything that adds, changes, or removes a contract stipulation, right? What is the last thing you should put on that? If you have to write 1 line or 100 lines, what should the last line be?
All other terms to remain the same?
Yep.
Yeah. What's really funny is I'm definitely not going to toot my own horn or think that I actually did this, but I never used to see that ever in transactions. And then I started doing it every single time I created an addendum. And now I see it almost every single addendum.
Yeah. Same
with if you're filling out the TDS and you have that section for the Avid, you mark the checkbox and it just, Avid attached or whatever. I've always now done other notes, Avid to follow.
Yeah.
And now I see that all the time.
Yeah. You are a trendsetter.
Yeah, thanks. I actually don't think that I set that trend. I think it was just like happenstance, but yeah, I add it every single time.
I was like, that's a good idea. And then forgot that you saw it and thought it was your idea.
I did see something that you did recently that I've started implementing in every single addendum that I do. And that is that you wrote in numerical amount the credit, and then you typed out the credit amount. And so I started doing that because I think that's so good to be extra clear on the amount of the credit. So I started doing that as well. Yeah.
And you can also write on that kind of stuff. You can write total credit to be and include any previous credit. And God, the sun came out and my office went woof, and I became like an ether ghost. Anyway, but so you can do total credit because that is also more unambiguous. That didn't make sense. Because escrow often ask, hey, so I see one for 2,500. Is that 700 total? Is that now 25? Is that what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then numbering them on the side, not just having one run-on sentence. That's 7 different things.
Yes, or an entire paragraph. That's 40 different line items.
Yeah, it's amazing what numbers and carriage returns can do.
Yes.
Carriage returns. I'm old.
Clink, dink. That was me doing a typewriter in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, right. I got that mostly from the arm going across the screen. Okay. So that all makes sense. So aside from forms, or at least a handful of issues with forms, what else do agents do wrong? New agents, less than 3 deals.
Okay, so 2 things come to mind. I would say the first one is that they get very energetic about things, maybe not necessarily in a good way. So very, the sky is falling, chicken with a head cut off, like, my buyer wants to cancel. I don't know how to regulate this.
Yeah.
You should be the calm one here.
Right.
Your buyers and sellers should be the ones freaking out. Yeah. Okay. So that's probably, I think that just comes with practice too. Right?
It does. It's one of those where, the rookie that gets his first touchdown, does his fancy dance until he gets penalized. Right.
Yes.
But the guy who's done 400 of them is like, yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm going to go over there now. Right. Yeah. So, your first one, panic, but that's why you have support. That's why I have a TC and a broker and a team lead and whatever you have around you. Because if you get something that scary, something a buyer wants to cancel, a seller wants to do something stupid, your first call should be to your broker. You get that information. Oh no, ring, team lead, broker, whoever. I'm going to read you this text and you tell me what to do. Right. Yeah. And don't just try to handle it yourself. And that's another big rookie mistake is they just try to, I don't want to look or sound dumb, so I'm just going to handle this. And then you find out later and you're like, so that was bad. If you'd have put 2 periods instead of 1, that would be easier. Right.
Yeah. So maybe another point would be being prideful, not wanting to sound dumb or not wanting to sound like you don't know what you're talking about. If you do hire a TC and they are experienced, they have a wealth of knowledge of different forms or different procedures or what they've seen people do in the past that they can share with you. Your broker is a great resource, but your TC is also a wonderful resource who can tell you, I don't exactly know how to give you advice on that, but I have seen this, and this done. Right.
Right.
So they'll have knowledge and experience that they can share. And one of my favorite types of agent to work with is baby agents because they are new and they're moldable and everything's new and exciting. And I love teaching agents new things.
There's no bad habits to break.
Yes. I love hearing, is there a form for this? And I can say, yes, this or this. Right. So I think that's really wonderful.
Well, and not to put too fine a point on it, and I'm not trying to diminish your knowledge, your skills, but the agent pays you. So you should be less scary to be like, hey, person I pay, I need something. And you go, I can't do that. Call your broker. Okay. Right. Whereas your broker, you're like, I don't want to sound dumb. I think this was in the book, but I forgot. Come to your broker. I don't remember everything. I screw up with counters apparently. So like, no one's in.
We're all human.
Yeah. So
totally okay.
Come to me and be like, hey, Ken, I'm trying to do this thing and I don't know. Like, neat. And I have also seen multiple lots of things, and I can tell you how to fix most things over the phone. Like I get calls from agents where like, hey, I need to do a fill in the blank response to repair request. What form is that? It's Quad R. Okay, here's how you're going to fill it out. And while I'm driving, I can explain to you how to fill out a Quad R without looking at it. I've done 82 billion of them, And now I look good. Like my sun went down. But anyway, sorry.
Back to my cave.
But a good broker, team lead, support person can walk you through that. And they may need to be like, let me get to a computer and make sure I'm doing this right. And I do that sometimes, right? Where I need to look at the form. What does number 3 say? Oh yeah, give me a minute. I'll be at my desk in 10 minutes, right? But in many cases, I can answer your questions without even looking. And that's just because I've done hundreds of transactions and I've seen hundreds more come across my desk. And I know what I'm looking at. Just like I would bet you've seen more transactions than I have come across your desk, right? You make less decisions than I do on that stuff, but you've seen the silly, you've seen the good, you've seen the bad.
And that also honestly extends well beyond forms too. That could be software platforms that we use. That could be different brokerages and kind of the inside scope of those things. I can't tell you how many people I've sent your way to discuss being a broker and what that looks like for you on a day-to-day basis, who have then become brokers themselves because they've gotten an inside knowledge of that. And
more than a handful.
Yeah. I help agents troubleshoot simple IT problems all the time too. It's like, well, I don't know why this envelope's not going out through my DocuSign or whatever. So I go in and I check it and I say, oh, well, this and this needs to be changed. I just got that for you. So yeah, it goes well beyond just forms.
100%. Don't be afraid. If you don't know, ask. Like that is best advice ever. And that's life advice. That's not just real estate advice. That's life advice.
Yeah.
I would rather sound dumb and do it right than not sound dumb and screw it up. Especially
even if you're not a rookie, if you're a seasoned agent, things are changing in real estate every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and especially though, when it's not your risk. I mean, it's ultimately your broker's liability, but it's not your money you're playing with. It's not where you're going to live you're playing with. It's your clients. So if you don't know, do not put your clients' earnest money, loan status, house in jeopardy because you're not sure. Ask the question, right?
Yeah.
And then to your point on software platforms, we have a start page, and I know you know this, but I'm saying it for everybody else. We have a start page that I put together that has 70 links on it. It's categorized by where to go, right? Internal tools, marketing tools, the different MLSs we belong to, like all manner of things. In the middle of that page, top center, there's a big note that says, before you pay for anything, talk to Ken. And it says that because Ken has paid for everything at some point. And I can tell you what sucked and what didn't, and where I made money, where I lost money, because I try all that stuff for me, but the benefit is for my agents, right? They now know, hey, I know that you paid for this, vendor to do ads for you and on blah, blah, blah. How did it go? I'm like, well, I spent $1 billion. I made $1,001,000. There's I'm in the black by 77 cents, but better ways to spend your money. I would look at C, D, and E, not that one, right? Whereas other agents will just be like, oh, I saw this new lead source. And I was like, oh, please don't tell me you paid for that. It happens.
Lead sources are always so interesting.
Right. Well, and so, to your point, there's software, there's, I want to get my own phone number. I want to use, I'm not going to throw any company names out there. I'm going to use this VoIP provider that's amazing. And I got a first month for $1. You're like, okay, well, how long's your contract? Okay.
6 years.
Yeah. Good job. Smooth.
Good luck with that.
Or I'm going to I saw one, they wanted to put their personal cell phone number on something that I was like, oh my God, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like get a VoIP number, spend the $12 and get a VoIP number and put that on there. Yeah. So anyway, ask. I guess that's the big takeaway here is ask whatever it is. Don't, to your point, don't be prideful. Don't be nervous. We were all new at some point. We all had to ask questions.
Knowledge is power.
100%.
Yeah.
And I was telling, who was it? I was telling my son that it's not what you know, it's who you know. Right. And he's 14. He's like, oh, that's obvious. Like I see your life every day. Because I don't know a lot, but I know everybody. Right. And if you ask me and I go, I don't know. One, very rare to come out of my mouth. Two, if it doesn't, I don't know, but this person will.
Yeah.
So the most recent thing I told them about was my truck got an update and I have launch mode now, which is terrifying.
Ooh.
So I have a Rivian in launch mode, and you like set the setting and you put your foot on the brake and the gas at the same time, and you hold them down until like the light turns green, and then you take your foot off the brake. We've done over a G, like over a G.
Why was that released on that vehicle?
Because it's amazing. And so we're like looking around, like, where can we do this? We're not going to either kill somebody or get arrested. Like, where can we find a spot?
Crash into something.
Yeah, well, and we found a spot. But like, I have a friend who's on he's a sheriff, and I was like, hey, guess what? I got launch mode, and I've taken him out before just without launch mode. And he likes it. I was like, where can I do this and not get arrested? He's like, I got a spot. I'll call you later. I looked at Boo and I was like, it's not what you know. He just started laughing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, when you can have a police escort to do launch mode somewhere, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, totally digressing. All right, what else? Any other advice? If we could sit down with a brand new agent, been licensed for 17 minutes, just passed their test, came straight to their broker's office, what's the first thing you say out loud?
Don't lose hope. It's going to take time.
That is a good one.
That's probably the first one I would say.
Yeah.
I would say don't be afraid to, depending on age. I'm not going to generalize everyone being young, but don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call someone if you think things are being misconstrued via email, text, whatever, digital media. There's been many times where I've had agents misunderstand my tone in an email, and so I've called them and smoothed things out immediately. We just had that on one of our agents' listings here, who seemed very unhappy with me, and so I called him, and then he was happy with me. So don't be afraid to get on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my first advices is do not put anything in writing that you don't want read aloud in a court of law.
Yes. That's good for all of life, though.
Yeah, for everything. Yes,
I implement that in every facet of my life.
I cannot tell you how many texts I've written and gone,
nope.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah. Let's just go and delete that.
Back. Select all.
Yes.
Cut. Yeah, I mean, and that's a liability thing for me, right? As a broker, if an agent says something, out of pocket, or they say something inappropriate, or they say something that's okay, we'll do this shady thing and it will be fine. You're going to end up in court. That's all bad. Mm-hmm. Right? Whether that's email, text, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, I don't care. Right. And the internet is forever. Right. Mm-hmm. Even things that disappear like Telegram and Snapchat, they don't really disappear. Mm-hmm. They still exist. They're still findable. So, yes. Never write it down. Never put it in writing. If I guess you can write it on a napkin and burn it. I mean, that could be a thing, I guess, but you're not a spy in the 70s, so maybe don't do that. So yeah, don't put it in writing. Don't lose hope. I like that. It's going to take 6 to 12 months to get your first deal. Don't think you're closing 5 deals your first 5 months. Yeah. Some people come in with the selling sunset attitude. Oh, I'm going to make $1 million this year. No, you're not.
I mean, you might, but it's going to be like a lottery win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're rich Uncle Jimmy selling off his portfolio of hotels, you're not, and he's going to let you do it. You're not making $1 million your first year. Mm-hmm. I did 9 my first year, and I am really good at what I do and hustled. I worked hard, and I spent a lot of money.
I definitely notice the first time people have 2 transactions going at once and how difficult that is. And jumping from 1 to 2 is huge. Jumping from 2 to 3 is huge. You get to a point where it's not like kids where eventually they kind of just all bunch together and it's a little bit better. No, it compounds very quickly. And I see people panic with just an additional transaction there.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It's a big jump from 1 to 2.
I couldn't do the amount of volume that I do without you.
Yeah.
At this period, full stop. The most I've ever done at once, I did 13 transactions in August 21. That's the most I've ever done in a month. And that was hard. And I had a TC that was still being trained. And so I did a lot of the files myself. But that was rough. right? But that was also me. I was already a broker.
Yeah.
Like I'd been doing this for a minute when that happened. So,
the same goes for TCs. The jump from, five file increments, it's a big jump. The jump from 20 to 30 is huge. 30 to 40 is huge. I mean, you feel it on this end of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So don't lose hope. Don't write shit down. Don't have too high of expectations. No, it's going to take a long. I know you need money. This isn't a career you can start with no money.
Nope.
So, I mean, you realistically, they say have 6 months of your bills and savings before you start being an agent full time. That is a real thing.
Yeah. I definitely see a lot of larger team leads say, oh, you can't really get into real estate unless you quit your job and go full time. And it's like, I just don't think that's realistic for everyone. No. I think people do need to continue to work their safety net, if you want to consider it that, until they can feasibly make that transition, kind of easily.
Right.
I think that's such an odd piece of advice to give someone, is like, you got to dedicate your whole life to this for the first however many years, and you're not going to sleep or see your wife or her husband or whatever. And it's like,
yeah, no. There is the reason that you go into this is because you're your own boss. You can set your own hours. And there are people like me that will sit at my desk for 96 hours straight, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And there are some that are like, you know what? I want to do one deal a year. I want to pay for my Hawaii vacation every year, and that's all I want to do.
Yep.
I work for the state. I work for tech. I have a really good job. I have good insurance. This is beer money. This is vacation money, and that's all I want it to be.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And some of those people, will retire, or they'll get laid off, or something will change in their life, and they'll be like, okay, full time now. Let's do this.
Great.
We have an agent that happened to. He got his license. He got laid off shortly thereafter, and he's like, well, I'll make a go of this. And he happened to have money, right, saved up, so he was able to spend an ungodly amount of money on Zillow leads. He did very well for the first year. Then he bought a really big house in the mountains and realized the mountain market is different than the Silicon Valley market, and went, oh no, that's not good. Mm-hmm. And he kind of pivoted out of the industry and went back to tech he was doing. But, so he did have his license, and he tried to make a go of it and did really well until he made a couple of dumb mistakes. Well, I say dumb mistakes. Dumb mistakes for his real estate career. They were the right decisions for him and his family and where he wanted to be in life. All solid decisions.
Yeah.
Not conducive to keeping up the amount of production he did in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So he still does stuff, though. He's still here. Yeah. So, all right, what else? My timer reset, by the way. I don't know how long we've been on, because my timer reset when I dropped and came back. So I'm at 27 minutes. I know that's wrong.
Mine says 38.
Yeah, about 10 minutes in. Okay.
Yeah.
This could be our shortest podcast ever.
No.
At 40 minutes.
I think another one that people make the mistake of is thinking that this is going to be a simple job.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you see the highlight reel of everyone, right? You don't see the struggling and the cyclical nature of real estate and how difficult that is. The taxes at the beginning of the year that you have to figure out because you're self-employed and didn't realize, oh shit, I have to pay a lot of taxes every year. And just, this is not something that comes naturally and easily to everyone, and is definitely a struggle. And the market is very saturated.
Yeah.
For a very low barrier of entry. Yeah. Which is the soapbox I will never get off of.
Well, and your mafia dues. I mean, your mafia dues are due every January.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you're going to become a broker, by the way, for all you aspiring brokers out there, know that you have to belong to every association your agents do.
Yep.
So if you have an agent in an area that you don't currently belong, you have to join that association and pay those dues. You don't pay state twice, you don't pay national twice, but you do pay local. And I'm in 6 a lot of associations. Mm-hmm. And so I pay well into 4 figures just in association dues every year.
Yep.
Not to mention MLSs, and the same true with MLSs too. So I'm now in 4 MLSs. And those you don't get a discount for doing multiple. You pay full freight on all those. So,
yeah.
talking about spending money. I mean, it's if you have a good team, you're making money, so it's worth the investment. But when you're writing $10,000 in, I say in checks because I'm old, but like I don't ever write a check. Do you even have checks? Side note, do you have checks like from your bank?
Yeah.
I opened my accounts and they didn't give me checks. I don't have a single check to my name.
I mean, checks.com, it's like you can find a coupon code to get it 70% off. So they're real cheap.
Yeah,
so I always have some on hand.
I don't know who to write a check to. Anyway, so
me, I'll take them.
I don't need to write you a check. They come out of escrow. But yeah, so I mean, know that as a rookie broker, right, which is also it's still a rookie, right? Know that your expenses double, triple, quintuple very, very quickly as you mature as a brokerage.
How much does your insurance go up for you in that situation?
So our insurance, our E&O is based on volume. So every year, every May, I get a thing to fill out that says how many transactions did you do? What was the dollar volume of that? How many were buy side? How many were sell side? How many were dual buyer and seller? And then how many were agent owned? Right. So flippers, right? There's a handful of times we have a handful of flippers, and that was interesting because if your spouse, right? I'll use April and Mark, right? When April was here, everything Mark did with us had to be tracked as an agent owned because your spouse counts. So I put all that into a calculator. I put it into a form. I sent it in. They sent me a bill.
Cool.
And I've had the same E&O since we opened, and I could probably get a better deal if I shopped, but I haven't because of the perks that we get. Right?
Yeah.
We get the seller E&O 2 different ways. We get building permit history stuff for free. We get there's just added value that we get that I may not get somewhere else. And honestly, I don't have time, energy, and stuff to. I charge the agents by the transaction, and it almost kind of sort of works out. I'm sure I eat some of that number, but it's cost you a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sun came out again.
Yeah. Yes, it did. Doesn't like you today.
Does not. I don't know why. Maybe this is the time of year the sun's in a different spot. Oh, it's early. We're also recording this like 2 hours early.
Yeah.
So maybe the sun is supposed to be over there and not over there.
Yeah. All right. So we did forms, common mistakes with forms. We did common just like emotions, practice, just general practice.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. When I sit down with a day one agent, what do we talk about? We talk about don't get ahead of yourself. Talk to me before you spend money. Ask before you do anything stupid. If you don't know, ask. If you don't know, ask. If you don't think you know, ask. And if you're not 100% positive, ask.
Yeah. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about where to find clients.
Oh, yeah. A lot of those. And my advice there is your first deal will come within 2 arms length of you. It will be a friend or family or a referral from friend or family. Right? And I don't have any friends. I'm a new agent. I'm only 19. All my friends are 19. Blah. Cool. All those friends have parents. All those friends have family. You have family. What's your uncle's nephew's neighbor doing? Right? So don't be a secret agent. You are not 007. Don't be a secret agent. Right? Reach out to people. Have the conversations. Right? Go do the legwork to be in front of people. And I mean, this goes back. We've talked about this many, many times. I think even on the podcast about, do what you love and then the money will follow. Right? We have a new agent on the team who loves karaoke, and he's a karate, 11,000th black belt or something. And some very specialized form of karate that he said it and I'm like, that's cool. I have no idea what those words mean.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, that's your love. That's your brand. And so he's Realtor Sensei.
Cool.
Is his domain. He's realtorsensei.com. Shout out to Asa. Woo. But and he leans into the parents of his karate students. He leans into his friends at the karaoke bar. That's where he's going to find he's not a new agent, but so he has history of business. He knows what he's doing. But in general, if he was brand new day one, my advice is those are your people. Go talk to them.
Yeah.
Hand out cards. And one of my favorite things, I don't know if I said this before on the podcast, but I thought of this, and I tell all the new agents this now, is go to your friends and family that own homes, right? And say, hey, I just got into real estate. I need to practice doing these things called a CMA. Can I do a CMA for your house? Like, can I do one and like present it to you so I can practice? No one that you care about is going to say, no, you can't give me value. No, you can't practice what you're supposed to be doing now. Right? Come to sit down with me. We'll do a CMA together. We'll do 2, 3, 4, 5 CMAs together. And then you go present them. You want me to come with you? I'll come help you present it. And now your people, one, know you're in real estate. You've given them value. They know you know what you're doing because you demonstrated that by showing them something of value. And now they're more comfortable referring you out to their friends and family because you've demonstrated that even though you're new, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Very, very simple thing. Very, very simple ask. And not scary at all because they already know, like, and trust you. You already know, like, and trust them. And if you fumble it completely and you go, I don't know what those words mean. Let me call my broker and get back to you. Right? You've shown some humility. You've shown your willingness to learn. You've still impressed upon them that you know what you're doing and you're willing to ask for help and that you have a team behind you. Right? None of that is bad.
Yeah.
Right? So take that. And even experienced agents, I could go out right now and be like, you know what? I have this new tool we just got and I'm trying to figure out how to use it. I need to practice a couple CMAs. Can I just practice one on you? I could do that today. Be like, hey, all right. So that one come in like, normally these are yellow and green. This one's blue and pink. So I'm going to fumble here. Cool. Blah. Who else? And then you go, who else needs one of these? Who of your friends would love to see one of these? Because I could do more of these till I get, till I master them. Does your neighbor, does your mom, does your Uncle Joe, like, who else can I do one of these for? Cool. Can you call them and tell them that I'm going to call them and set up a time? Great. Now in front of somebody else.
Yep.
And none of that is a hard ask. You've already given that. I am a big fan. I've said this before. I'm a big fan of lead with value, right?
Yeah.
So you're leading with value, but you're getting just as much, if not more value from that interaction than they are. Right? So I would give that advice to a brand new agent.
Yeah. One of the things that Matt always told me, our marketing guy, was that you got to get outside and talk to people. Because I'm a house gremlin.
Right.
I'm a house gremlin. And so he's always like, well, you got to get out and talk to people. Like, ugh.
You're like, no, thanks. I'm a TC now. Ta-da!
Yeah. But I'll tell you, I have been doing stuff lately that's put me in front of a lot of new people. And there's been quite a few instances where they'll casually mention in passing that they're always, looking at homes around the area, or that they have plans in the future to move because their house they're in is too big. There's so many nuggets that pop up like that throughout so many random different conversations that it's just like a natural, hi, here's your opportunity to talk about this and announce that you're a realtor when you had no intention of doing that during this conversation.
Right.
It really does. He was right. You have to get outside and talk to people.
It's annoying, isn't it? Yeah.
I know.
Matt and I go way back, and I life coach him, he life coaches me, kind of the same conversations a lot of times. And I'll be like, dude, you know what? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, okay, so do I need to say it or do you just know it? I'm like, shut up. He's like, I'm going to say it then. F you, buddy. And he's like, you know what you need to do? Do these things, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I don't like you. I'm hanging up on you now. Right?
Yeah.
But he does the same thing and I say the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think that that's true in a lot of ways, a lot of people, is they know, what needs to happen. In your heart of hearts that you need to do the thing, but you want to bitch about it first. And very few people are willing to say, you need to do that.
Yeah.
Just go do it. Most people be like, oh, you're totally right. That sucks. Oh my God. I would never want to do that. Oh, it's terrible. But then the true besties will be like, shut your freaking mouth.
Yeah. People don't grow very well in comfort.
Mm-hmm.
They grow in discomfort.
Yes.
Yes.
And I grow from Slurpees mostly. Sorry, that's we in my house we have a running joke that I'm gonna go get drugs and drugs is a Slurpee.
Okay.
So like, who's going to drug run? Me. So if you first time at my house and I go, I'm going to get drugs. All the kids want to come.
I love it.
Do I need to call CPS? What's happening here?
Just Slurpees, just sugar drug.
Just Slurpees and some ding dongs. So,
yeah.
All right. What else we got? We're running up on the wall here.
I think we covered a lot of it.
I think we did.
I think also another one is like the sunk cost fallacy of like maybe being a realtor really isn't for you, and that's okay.
Yeah, we just had that conversation. One of the agents and I last week actually, and they decided that it's not for them. When they said, "Every time I think about real estate, I cry."
Yeah.
Guess what? Don't do real estate.
Yeah.
No one should live that life. I know it took you a long time to get your license. I know it took you a lot. You've invested a lot. You know, you've done a lot to get to where you are. No one should live their life. You learned so much
along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. No one should live their life with the I wake up and cry because I don't want to do my job.
Yeah.
So,
especially if you're in a position where you have the ability to walk away from something like that.
Yeah.
This is your one life.
100%.
Don't do things that make you cry.
Right.
Yeah. I've lived a lot of different careers prior to right now.
Me too.
And they were fun for a time. And then I cried about it. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I cried once. You're like, you know what? Once is a bad day. 3 days in a row, I'm out.
Yeah.
There are other ways to make money.
It's not for everyone. It's very difficult, and it's very hard to be a successful long-term agent, I think.
It is. Especially a full-time one. I mean, you could be a part-time agent for the rest of forever.
Yeah.
But if you're relying on real estate to feed your kids, and worse, if your entire household income, because you're the sole provider or both of you are in real estate.
Yeah.
You know, a downturn, if you don't save that's another one, save your pennies, right? Mm-hmm. Don't go buy a Rolex after your first deal. Mm-hmm. Put some money in the bank because it's not always like that. And when you're self-employed, like I'll take me for example, right? Natalie and I are both in real estate. The majority of our money comes from real estate. Thankfully, I've diversified a bit, but the majority of our money comes from real estate. But I also have paid my own healthcare, right? We don't have someone to save us on the healthcare plan, right? Yeah. You know, we have to weather the ups and downs, right? Yep. You know, and we still need to eat and feed our kids and pay for cheers. So, you know, put some money in the bank when you can put money in the bank. And know when you need to slow down. Know when eating out every day is not the best thing for you, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And what you keep is dependent on what you spend. And if you spend it all like a crazy person that just got a big check, then you're going to be hurting real bad in about 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it takes a certain level of ability to dedicate towards the hard part of it before it gets easy. And not a lot of people have that luxury. And it takes a certain person who has a certain set of social skills, I will say.
And pain threshold.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this industry is painful. I mean, I told you today, I have a couple of things going awry in transactions. And, you know, the amount of stress that it puts the agent under, you know, when you have your client barking things and the other agent on the other side barking things, and you get a random cancellation from something else. And then you get somebody calling because the inspector's late. And there's a lot that comes into things. And if you can't manage multiple streams of pain, for lack of a better word, you're not going to do well long term. Right? Yeah. Now, if you're, I want to do two deals a year, they won't be at the same time, I'm good. Then you probably won't experience that.
Yeah. Or if you're having the same issues on every single deal, which I see a lot with some of my agents, is that extensions required for every single transaction. Working with the same lender who's horrible at communicating it, you still refer clients to them, not responding to emails to the point where people start getting pissed and start bringing your broker into it. I see these all the time. Either you need a different mentor or you need different training, or this is not the job for you.
Or all three.
Yeah. And that's okay. It's okay to walk away from something that does not serve you correctly.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So there's no shame in that. And money is already spent. Right? You've already obtained knowledge from that money you spent. It's just the sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, there's hiccups. It's like gambling, right? You can't use your good dollar to throw it after a bad dollar.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Anyway, with that, I think we all have jobs to do. So I'm going to bid you adieu. Go forth and conquer, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.